Hi, it's Sonia and welcome back to my art YouTube channel. Today I've got like a couple of quick process videos in series, as it were. The first is in my abstract sketchbook and is collage basically based. And then the second one is sort of a really loose, naive-ish still life in my loose sketchbook. So yeah, I mean, I think this follows on. Why I wanted to show these are because it follows on from my previous video where I got a little bit introspective and and part of me wants to kind of like delete that video, but it allowed me. I feel this week that there is a theme to my work coming through, and I'm letting myself go there, and it sort of led to today's work, as did the other sketchbook process. So just to say with this one, this is completely collage, and I sort of knew when I set out, for once when I started, this was yesterday morning because it's the first thing I like to do is the sketchbook, as I've talked about. I knew I wanted to limit myself to collage. I wanted to go really, for me, relatively simple and try and keep the page like not to be too cluttered. I was just looking for more block shapes. So as you'll see, it is just collage, and I was going for a pretty, well, not when you say minimalistic, definitely the left-hand side turns quite minimalistic. But just playing, I just wanted to stick things down, stick some colour down, and just enjoy sort of visually how I arrange the shapes. And I use for this, I've got some old, this is origami paper that I think I bought back in the pandemic for the kids, and we didn't actually end up doing that much origami. So now I use it for collage because it's great. I mean, it's quite thin. It's a nice to stick down. It's quite easy to stick down with a glue stick, and you do get, like, I really like that orange on that black. And then I also use a little bit of, I've just found some other, you'll see me rifling through some papers, just deliberately looking for more colours, not necessarily too busy old works to recycle for this spread. And so that's the process with this one. And so I thought also it's a good opportunity to say, I do feel a lot better for having had a think out loud, or a period of really having a bit of a ponder about, I guess I was looking for like my purpose, where I think I was feeling some shoulds creeping into my art, and that was on me, and just sitting with, actually, what did I want to do? And I feel like this is the other great thing about art. I feel like when we are making art, and if we're by ourselves, and even if we're listening to podcasts and other things, we still have a space to have a think, like to have a real good, when you're making work, like think about this, especially if you have a daily practice. And again, this is something I wanted to reflect on here, is actually, like, if you do make, one of my major aims is to try and make art every day. If you are making art every day, then your life stresses, things going on will creep into your thoughts as it comes into your art. And it's not always like that whole positive psychology. It's not like, I do believe, it's not always every day is like, oh, I'm making art, everything is awesome. You do get to sit with some, other feelings, and you get to also, it helps you, I feel like it does help me make decisions about if I have, decisions to be made, if I've got choices. And it's just, I think, going back to Ryan Gander, a contemporary artist, I watched a video on YouTube, or I was listening to a video as I was drawing, where he was talking about and I've mentioned this, I know I mentioned this before, but it's coming up for me. Like, one of the greatest privileges of art, he thinks, like, a privilege is time. Like, if you've got not necessarily even money, but like having the time to make art is a privilege. And I feel that because I feel like, the time that you get to put into it therefore, I kind of like want to guard it, and I want to make sure I am not, I'm going to be using it in the best, way for me. So I can also share here in a more truthful and hopefully, I don't know, like share something. I'm only going to be able to share here if I'm also enthused and enjoying it. Like, I don't want it to be. There's lots of other videos on. There's so many videos out there, and so many YouTube artists making great videos on like techniques and swatching and everything like that. But for me, I need to feel like I have to feel connected to what, in sort of long form, what I'm sharing as well, if that makes sense, and it may not. So yeah, here you can see I'm still sticking down. I'm working a bit more heavier on that right side of the spread, actually. But yes, but I do feel like having the space really helped me. Like this is yesterday's art making, but I think I'd sort of embraced. I'd made a few decisions. Like I'd said in my head, I'd said no, and I've sort of put on the back burner. I haven't said no to a few opportunities, but I think I've sort of said, I'll see. And having that space, because I do want to focus on on this channel, on my own practice. And I could see that, I could get, if you say yes to too many other things, it's great to have these opportunities. And I think this is the other issue as an artist. It's obviously flattering, to have people make offers to you to do more workshops and things, but time is limited, and how obviously there's preparation and there's expectation. Like, how do you juggle those? So yeah, like sometimes saying no. I know a lot of people might be like, "Oh, this is my year of saying yes," and I get that. But sometimes for me, actually, a thoughtful no to some things just frees me up and allows me to put my best work forward, hopefully. And also the other, yesterday when I was making this work, I was listening to some really good podcasts and videos online, and actually while I was cooking dinner. And so there was a couple of things I thought I'd share that I found helpful. I think there was a Andrew Huberman podcast with Robert Greene that I haven't actually finished because they're quite long ones. But I was cooking dinner, and he was talking about purpose. The beginning bit I found the most relevant. Your purpose, finding your purpose. And I really connected with that, like how it's easy to, like the things that sometimes give us the most purpose and meaning are often the things that help us feel like the sublime, or where we feel the greatest ease. And that has been when I was younger, like with art. And I feel like I did get, as it were, distracted off that path. So I think I am really protective of my practice in essence, because I want to keep that. I keep speaking about this, but I want to, for me, like there is, in the flow, there's an ease to it. And I do feel like that sublime sort of joy, for it, be it colour or painting or the tactility, is that a word? So yes, that was a really reassuring listen. And I'm on to my second process video here. And this is in my loose sketchbook, and that page went wrong, so I repainted it, but you can still see it coming through, and I like that. And I'm going to go on to a really, inspired by the lilies and the jug piece. I'm trying to even make it more loose and just play about, because I really got into the shapes, and I just visually enjoyed that spread. So I'm kind of like repeating it in this sketchbook with oil pastel, and I think I used some marker, and yeah, that's it. It's quite a simple process, this one. So yeah, I listened to that one, and the other one, when I was working, I listened to, YouTube recommended me Sketches and Scrubs, a UK artist, and she's a YouTuber, and it was talking about goals. I was like being shown a lot of, which was ironic because I think that's what I was struggling with, like all these goals, I don't even wrote them down, but I think I had these kind of ideas that I had to be a bit more, ambitious this year, and say yes to things. But It was interesting listening to like other YouTubers' goals, and she was also reflecting on. It felt like people are much more now thinking about, not saying no, but like, like not so much social media, like getting off social media maybe, if you need to free up space. But making more space for their practice. And then interestingly, she was talking about, say, I think it was, you get sometimes if you are online or you have a social media or YouTube presence, like brands might come to you with freebies, like paints and supplies, and how actually it seems, because it is, as an artist, like if we're sort of, I know there's arguments even online about being self-taught, but if you're kind of like a self-taught artist or have come to it, later, there's that, oh, it's very flattering if someone comes to you with an opportunity or a freebie. But actually, if you look at the work that goes into making content, it is quite considerable. And for people, like for a content creator, I don't know. But as an artist, I want to share here, like, I want to make art every day, and I want to make my art every day, and I do feel my purpose that, if it's helpful, I also want to share here my process and techniques and things that I've picked up. The whole purpose is to inspire. I've got a lot out of having an art practice, so if it can help to inspire other people to get going in their sketchbooks again, and to feel okay about having a break but coming back to it, and like to following their creative whims, even if they've got people in their lives who are like, what are you doing? That's, I guess, is what keeps me motivated and helps me enjoy making videos and sharing content online as well. And so I felt like I do feel refreshed again. I feel like sometimes when we make art, it's a bit like a journaling process. It's funny, the stuff that comes out, whatever art we're making. I think, whatever artist you are, that it does allow you space to, for thoughts and to find yourself in a way. That sounds really, I don't want to sound really, as my kids always say, cringe, but I'm very cringe. So that was good. And this spread again, I feel like allowing myself this week, and as it were, not doing some like admin, some really boring tasks, but I feel enthused, and I'm feeling like I'm liking my own work this week, which is great. Like, this page is super sort of like journally, sort of base. I don't know how to say it. Like, I'm writing in capitals here, and I can't even. Can I read what? I can't even remember what I wrote yesterday. I think I was just writing what I was drawing and why I was drawing. Like, I think I was drawing from memory, and I'm going to go on in a minute to draw like we've got on the kitchen table, like in my one of those like ramen bowls, I've got some limes and I draw that, but it's just, I don't know, making notes, but at the same time, like, just enjoying shapes and colours and textures. And so reigniting. I feel like an art practice, there's always going to be ebbs and flows, and I know everyone talks about this as well, and I do feel like a lot of the time, it's not so much I'm creatively stuck, it's more I'm engaged in the shoulds and expectations I've put on my art, rather than just letting me follow what I need on that day. So I feel like I'm feeling back on an art track, as it were, and this is probably quite selfishly for myself, but for any of you, I don't know, I hope maybe let me know, I don't know how you're kind of like approaching sort of starting again this year with art. Thank you, as always, for watching my videos, because I do tend to produce, I'm producing them quite frequently. They are as you can tell, pretty rustic, and they're in real time. And the other reason I'm keeping to this, to be quite clear, is I want to keep them slow and real time as much as possible, because I really want, another of my aims is to get people making work more than consuming. But I think the joy also of an art practice is you can actually make art and listen to like an audiobook or music, or to informative, useful podcasts and other videos, and that often in itself is inspiring and a fun part of the practice as well. I'm keeping it like this because I think you are drawing right now, because you can just look up and occasionally see what I'm up to and listen to me rabbit on. This video is coming to an end. So I'm going to say bye for now, and I'll hopefully see you next time. Bye.